Guess help if I turned it on. If y'all are ready, we'll get started tonight. If nothing else, I'd like to start on time and end on time. So how about that? We'd like to welcome you tonight to our first candidate forum. We are thrilled that you're here, and I hope that you've had a good opportunity to mix and mingle. I decided it was 100-degree weather outside, and I didn't want everybody knocking on doors because I was afraid I'm a physical therapist, so I was afraid I was going to get a little bit too much business. But I probably need a little bit of that too. So we'd like to thank the State Gazette for their helping us with getting the word out, the Lanham Center for letting us host this here, and Stage 4 Media for live streaming so everybody that's not here can see it. And then it'll also be tagged to your Facebook and our Facebook. Is that right? Perfect. Okay. So if you don't all mind standing, we're going to have our Pledge of Allegiance to our American flag. It's going to be led by Mr. Ralph, if I can find him somewhere. There he is.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. So tonight's events, I'm Leanne Childress, by the way. I failed to introduce myself. But tonight's events had all of our county commissioners, all of our county school board candidates, all of our city school board candidates that wanted to come, and then, of course, our mayor candidates. And we're excited to do a Q&A for them here just in a few minutes. Our MC tonight will be Mr. James A. Dyer. I'm going to read you a little bit about him, but I do have to get the glasses out. So, Mr. A. Dyer was born in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. He is an associate professor of mathematics and political science at Dyersburg State Community College since August of 2007. Mr. James earned his Bachelor's of Science in Mathematics and Political Science in 1993, Bachelor of Science in Mathematics Education in 1996, and Master's of Natural Science and Mathematics in 2000. He has also earned 18 graduate hours in political science from the University of Tennessee in Martin. Prior to coming to Dyersburg State, Mr. James taught high school mathematics in Missouri and was an associate professor of mathematics at Missouri Valley College in Marshall, Missouri. So Mr. Adair wrote our questions for us. I have no idea what our questions are. The candidates have no idea what their questions are. But tonight we'll do a Q&A. The rules are we're on the table. They'll have 2 minutes. We do have a timer. And we'll have a bell. So you can get your 2 minutes and we'll go from there. But Mr. Adair, I will turn the program over to you, and it's all yours. Nope, it's there. I forgot to do one thing. We do have Representative Rusty Grills and Senator Ed Jackson here, and they want to say just a really brief something to you. And Senator Jackson, if you'll come on up.
Thank you, Leanne. I appreciate it. And a great crowd here tonight. I see a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time, and great friends here in Dyersburg, Dyer County. I'm honored to be able to be here tonight. Leanne, thank you for including me and letting me speak. Unfortunately, I have no opponent in the primary election, but I did want to come tonight and just say a couple of words about me and a little bit so I can update some of you. Some of you hadn't met. I'm State Senator Ed Jackson, representing former District 27, but it's now District 25. And my counties are, with redistricting, I picked up 3 new counties and lost one. So I have a total of 7 counties that I travel, which is Lake, Dyer, Crockett, Madison, Henderson, Decatur, and Perry. So those are all my counties. I've been spending a lot of time in my 3 new counties and getting to know some of the people over there. But Dyersburg, Dyer County is like home for me. I've been coming here for 8 years, and you're just like home people to me. Great friends here, a lot of support, and I really appreciate the support that you've given me. I've been in the State Senate for 8 years. People have asked me, Ed, what's the biggest surprise that you've had since you've been there? And I said, well, the quality of people that I get to work with. They're there for the right reasons. In the State Senate, it's just amazing, the folks that are there. And it's showing that what we do with a governor and the legislature, our state is doing extremely well. We're we're the lowest tax state in the country per person. We're the most fiscally responsible state in the country. And the list goes on and on and on. We've cut taxes over $2 billion since 2011. And there are just so many things that we're doing. So we want to keep our government local, keep our taxes low, let you decide how you want to spend your money, but improve education, improve law enforcement, health care, and agriculture. Now, those are things that are big here. We've got to improve our roads. Still, I-69 is still on my radar, and talk about it often to TDOT and others, the governor's office. So there are a lot of things that we still need to do. I'm honored to be there, and even though I've been there for 8 years, I'm on the health committee, state and local government, and government operations. I'm first vice chair there, and then I'm also serve on the corrections committee and police officer standards and training, the post commission, which involves law enforcement. So there's so many things that I'm involved with, and it's an honor, a huge honor for me to be there. The people from Dyersburg, Dyer County have sent me there and have really helped me to be able to be there in Nashville and represent you, and I'm honored to be able to do it. I'm asking for your vote. I'm running again for 4 more years, and for asking for your vote and approval to let me come back and represent you some more this next term. So thank you very much.
My name is Rusty Grills. I've been serving as a District 77 state representative for the last 3 years. I am the vice chair of the Agriculture Committee there on the House. I live right outside of New Bern on a family farm. I think I know pretty much everyone in here, but if you don't have my cell phone number and you need something, my cell phone number is 731-589-2208. Leave me a message, shoot me a text. There's your 45 seconds. I'm done. Appreciate your vote.
That was amazing for a politician to only speak 45 seconds. Next time I umpire your softball game, I'll make sure you're safe. Okay? Okay. Let's talk some politics. Remember what politics is. Poly means many, and ticks are blood-sucking creatures. So let's talk politics today. As for our opening, let's go ahead and I'll ask each candidate, give you 2 minutes to open, make an opening remark. And we'll start with Mayor Chris Young.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Dyer. It's been absolutely my honor and privilege to serve as your Dyer County Mayor for the past 8 years. I have forged many relationships, and just like with Senator Jackson and Rusty Grills, it's an absolute honor to work with them. Also working with the city of Dyersburg, New Bern, and Trimble, and our local Chamber of Commerce, I think we've made a lot of strides. We've brought in a lot of industry, and we've worked together to make things better for our community. So along with that, we've made a lot of improvements in our county buildings, such as the Pocket Park downtown, a new clerk's office, and we've added a second drive-through just recently. We've recently reworked our archives building, our election and trustee office. If you've been by there, we have a nice voting area in the back that I think you'll agree has been something of a big improvement for what we had before. General Sessions courtroom, we've just recently remodeled it. I've had some attorneys from out of town say we went from worst to first, and so I'm very proud of that. Some of the other things we've done, we just recently completed concession stands and new bathrooms at the ball fields, the Dixie Youth ball fields, which is leased by Dixie Youth and been so since 1996. So they've needed some help there. We've stepped in there and helped them. We also built a new summer feeding program, building for a summer feeding program, and remodeled commodity food. So those are just a few of the things that we've done during my administration. I alone did not do all of that. We had a lot of help from all our fellow commissioners, and it's just a team effort. And we've been so privileged to work with this team and to make things happen and make Dyer County a better place to live, work, and raise your family.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next candidate is Ronnie Hensley.
Yes, my name is Ronnie Henley, and I'm an independent. Thank you. And I'm for everybody. A lot of you don't know me because I'm originally from Milan over in Gibson County. but I do consider Dyer County my new home county family. And according to the U.S. Constitution, it's not just for a certain group of people, it's for everybody. If I don't believe in certain things or do, I'm going to try to compromise, and that's not a form of weakness. It's just to be, not be impartial, but be for everybody. And we're not against one another like opponents in a fight or anything, because all three of us, we want what is better for Dyer County. I base stuff on, when it comes to policy proposals, I base stuff on facts, not a bunch of hype. And if you give me a chance to lead, I will be a leader, not just somebody that's in it for personal gain. Mayor Young has showed some great leadership. It's just we got different ways going about making a better Dyer County. And but win, lose, or draw, I'm willing to work with any of these gentlemen for the best for all of you. And I will appreciate your vote. And I maybe not sound like I'm a professional, but my heart is in the right place. That don't mean I'm weak. That's what separates me from the other ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. And our last candidate for mayor is David Quick.
Yes, my name is David Quick. Ooh. And I was born and raised here in Dyer County. A lot of people know me as Beatty. I'm passionate about the betterment of our county. Me and Angie, my wife, have been married 36 years. I'm a conservative. You know, I'm an independent. I'm running as an independent. We share the views, me and Ronnie do, as being for everyone, the betterment of our county. Moving forward with that, you know, I'll run an honest, open book mayor's office. I'm friendly. I'm an easy person to get to know. I'm easy to talk to. If you have a problem or you want to see where money's spent or being directed, just let me know. I'll be glad to talk to you about it or meet with you anytime. You know, very respectfully, I believe our county's headed in not a positive direction. I believe that we need to work on property ordinances, cleaning our county up, you know, more support for trash pickup programs and trash control, and maybe even imposing some trash laws. You know, the trashier our county is, the more crime we have. The cleaner we get our county, the less crime we'll have. And if we don't clean our county up, it's hard to get people to look at us for business and industry, which is so important and vital for our area, you know. So, you know, I don't like to clear code everything. I do like to, you know, I do like to praise everybody for the effort they make, but I just believe it's a lot more room for a lot more improvements. And if you give me the opportunity, I'll show you that I can make those improvements. And I'll ask for your vote today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Quick.
Thank you.
Okay, I have come up with 6 different questions, and I'm going to ask them. They deal with the economy, they will deal with education, they will deal with health care. And I'm going to go down. I've numbered you all 1, 2, and 3, and I will first ask the question, give it to number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay? Our first question is on the economy. What are some things that could be done to help develop the rural economy, and how do you propose to get them done? And this goes to, the first response will be Mayor Young.
Thank you very much for the question. Well, I'll just tell you some of the things that we've done here in Dyer County to help our economy, and that is the Commons, for example, a nice retail establishment that we worked with the City of Dyersburg, the Chamber of Commerce, to help bring to Dyer County. It took some tax incentives tax investment financing is what they call it, a TIF program, to make that happen. We think it's been very good for our economy. The first month that Hobby Lobby was here, for example, they brought in $32,000 in sales tax to Dyer County. Now that's about 60% of that, as you know, goes to the Dyer County school system. 40% goes to City of Dyersburg schools. And so, just things like that have been very instrumental in helping improve our economy. Also, anytime we bring industry into town, they bring with them a lot of people who buy new homes. We're always happy to see that. The most recent expansion is something that you haven't even seen yet or heard about yet, but it's coming to Firestone Industrial Products. It is here because of the new Blue Oval City that will be in the Brownsville area and bringing in about 6,000 jobs. Dyer County will see some good growth from that, I do believe. I believe we're trying to be proactive in that and do everything we can to do. We're very fortunate to have the City of Dyersburg and City of New Bern in as great shape with their utilities as we are, because we can deal with the growth that we have there. So those are some of the things we have done. We just need to keep doing more of it as we can.
Okay, same question for Mr. Quick.
For us to attract business and industry if we don't clean our county up, reduce our crime rate. We've had opportunities for growth. We've got to offer more family activities as well. The ballpark is a major issue of mine. It should be ran as a business. We should work to hustle grants for that, to offer family activities. We've got to get out and use cleanup programs to clean our county up, reduce our crime, and we can get business and industry. I can attract business and industry in here if we can reduce our crime rates. And I believe that 100%. Is that good enough? Thank you. I'll keep talking if you want me to.
You've got until the buzzer goes.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to be buzzed.
We are timing you.
Okay. But with that being said, we have opportunity for recreational growth as well. And I got another minute. Okay, and with that recreational growth, that gives family activities, recreational growth. That makes us more attractive to businesses and industries, and I think we will be able to, attract business and industries if we'll clean our county up, reduce our crime rate, and move forward, like that. And those are the things I'll focus on the most. Start now. Of course, we have to, regulate our budget and work within our budget.
Thank you. And by the way, for the candidates, if you do need me to repeat the question, just be free to ask, okay? Mr. Henley.
Well, not no disrespect, but saying in politics, they ask the voters what it's about, and they would say it's about the economy, stupid. Because why they say that? Because about everything is connected to the economy. And we don't need to be playing games with people's lives like when it comes to class warfare. I would like to thank all the county commissioners for bringing in all the companies, industries that we do have. And I can relate with people when it comes to personal struggles. Not saying that these fine gentlemen hasn't, but there are some politicians overall that really hadn't experienced what a lot of us has. And it needs to be an economy that works for everyone, or at least a majority of everyone. And besides wait for offers to come in, you have to put in an effort and go negotiate with other governments like federal and state to see what you can get in. And then that's where you could have, a lot of politicians don't believe you could have fiscal responsibility and compassion at the same time, but you actually can it don't take much. Your heart's got to be in the right place, and you can be fiscally responsible. Because you maybe not support somebody else's morals or nothing like that, doesn't mean they're not good enough. They're just as good as us or equal. And I'm not talking more about the moral aspect than the business prospect, but you can't have one without the other when it comes to getting things done.
Mr. Henley, your time has expired. That's okay. Thank you. Okay, let's go to a different subject. Let's talk about education. The governor has pushed trade schools as a way for helping develop a skilled workforce. What is your position on secondary education, trade schools, and employing a skilled workforce in Dyer County? And we will start with Mr. Quick.
Well, I think I just toured the school systems, and I think it's a great opportunity. My family's been in nursing and the nursing programs, and I have been as well. I went to the high school where they're teaching the first year of actual physical nursing as a clinical there. It was amazing. And then we toured the vocational school out there, and I can tell you right now that Forkham Lanham and other companies here, they're using those young people, all people, as engineers. They're engineering. Their programs are amazing. They're probably doing at the vocational school and prior to that in the high school what several years back was probably taking place in a four-year school program. It was pretty amazing for me. I watched young people that were way past the CNA program in the 11th grade. I watched a clinical medical program that was just amazing. It's geared for a doctorate program in the high school system. And then if you go to the VOTEC, you see that in growth. And it was really pretty amazing to me. So I'm all about that, and I thank our governor. I think our governor's wonderful and about us here in West Tennessee. I think he cares about us. And, it's just a terrific opportunity and a terrific thing.
Thank you, Mr. Quick. Next, that same question to Mr. Henley.
Could you repeat the question?
I'll be glad to.
Thank
The
you.
governor has pushed trade schools as a way for helping develop a skilled workforce. What is your position on secondary education, trade schools, and employing a skilled workforce in Dyer County?
Well, there's been a lot of improvements, like Senator Jackson was explaining earlier, and I appreciate for him securing that for us. He has to represent multiple counties because of his compassion. Pretty much, I'm willing to work with anybody, anywhere across the country for what's best for Dyer County, because y'all are my family now. And I don't really give away my phone number, but if you have any questions, and I can explain more to you through my email at Henley, HNLEYR215 @gmail.com. And when I'm elected, I'll work with any branch of government, no matter who the governor or the president is. Of course, I want to be for everyone across the nation, but especially Dyer County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. Mayor Young.
Thank you. As all of you know, we have Blue Oval City that's coming to the Brownsville area. They'll employ about 6,000 people. The multiplier of that, Senator Jackson, runs up to around 30,000 people that'll be employed in this surrounding area. So the governor thinks so much of our vocational technical schools that he's putting one right on the campus of Blue Oval City. So when I graduated from high school, everybody thought you had to go to college. That's not necessarily the thing anymore. It's not for everybody. There's a lot of people who go through a technical school. Some of them are coming out making six figures without a lot of debt. They can go debt-free in the state of Tennessee for 2 years, and same with our community colleges. So I think that a lot of people have opportunities that maybe were not available 20 years ago, but certainly today they have those opportunities to learn a trade. And if you know anything about the labor shortages that we have today, trades are going to be very, very important in the future. And a plumber can make a lot of money, electrician. Those skills are taught at trade schools. In my business, I have an employee who came through the local trade school. I've had more than one over the years. They're trained well. They come out with a good opportunity, and we're happy to be able to help them with that. So we've been a big supporter of trade schools. We've also been a big supporter of the classes in Dyer County High School and Dyersburg High School, such as welding, different things like that have improved the quality of life. And also, all that ties back into recruiting industry. The number one thing they want to know is, do we have sufficient employees to fill the jobs?
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, let's change gears again, and we'll start talking about health care. Recently, rural hospital closures have been going on, and the need for quality health care in rural areas. What are your ideas for supporting or increasing access to emergency general health care in rural areas? And we'll start with Mr. Henley.
Yes, there's been a lot of closures over the years to save on cost, but when it comes to individual health and well-being, it's a worthy investment because investing in people is the best investment. I believe we could have more rural hospitals, especially here in Dyer County, because since West Tennessee is pretty much rural, it would be beneficial. We could get professional doctors in here, and everybody ought to have access to affordable health care. And it could be done with compassion and fiscal responsibility, but it takes somebody that's got leadership qualities that could break through the red tape, and I believe I have that quality to do that, and where everybody have an opportunity to have health care. As taxpayers, when it comes to our families, if we need health care, we have earned it, and we deserve it, and the government should give it to us. And a lot of people, the government says the United States is going broke. Really, there's a lot of money in the economy, but it gets mishandled because there are some people that claims to be patriotic, but they're pretty much out for self. I'm not talking particularly about nobody around here. I'm talking about politicians across the country. But when it comes to something as serious as health care, the best thing you could do is do the right thing for everybody, because that's what God would want us to do.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. Same question to Mayor Young.
Thank you very much. First of all, as many of you may remember, 1992 or 93, I believe it was, our hospital and ambulance system was sold to Methodist Healthcare Systems, and since then it's had multiple owners. I think we're very fortunate today to have West Tennessee Healthcare as owners of our hospital. I have the administrator in Jackson's cell phone number. I can call him at any time. I also have the number of the new administrator here at Dyersburg. Can pick up the phone and call them anytime we have issues. During COVID, they were very, very good to work with. They gave me a lot of help, a lot of information. It was so much appreciated. They worked with our community. We were so very well respected in this part of Northwest Tennessee as being a center that you would go to. I also want to take this opportunity, we're talking about ambulances and hospitals, to dispel a rumor. Some people are going around saying that the county pays me $20,000 a month for rent on the ambulance building. Well, I am a partner in an LLC that owns the ambulance building. But West Tennessee Healthcare pays that rent, and the county has nothing to do with it and has not had since 1993. So if you hear somebody say that, please tell them that's not correct, and I'd appreciate that. But working with our hospitals is something that has to go hand in hand with my job. You've got to be able to work with them when we have a pandemic like we had before. Our healthcare system, including our health department, hospitals, all our doctors and nurses across Dyer County and this entire region are very important. We've got to stay in touch with them, and we've got to know them personally to build that relationship and be able to call on them when we need them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Quick.
We are really fortunate to have West Tennessee Healthcare here, but it's just like any other business. You better be prepared, have insurance, get a job, make sure if you don't have a job that you qualify for insurance, or you might not get care. And that's the truth. And we are lucky to have them to work back and forth with us. My family's in the healthcare business, and they'll tell you that. But truly, the areas that we aren't getting help in the healthcare business are for the mental health. Mental health areas suffer so bad, and there's a lot of people don't want it. A lot of people need it and don't want it. A lot of people need it and can't get it. A lot of people want it and can't get it. So, it's really all about money as well. But I'm just telling you right now, the homeless people you see, they can't get health care because they need mental health care. That's an important thing and something we all need to look in. And nobody seems to want a shelter for the homeless here, but we have to figure out a way to help the homeless as well, without just attracting all the homeless right here in Dyer County. Other than that, you just better get a job and have insurance, I'm telling you. And I do think we have a wonderful healthcare system here, but your rural clinics are everything. Your rural clinics, they take care of everybody to a certain point, or know or see who needs to go to the hospital for hospital care. And, so that's what you're seeing in today's healthcare bit, in the healthcare world, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Quick.
Thank you.
Let's stay on healthcare for just a little bit, and let's talk about the opioid crisis. I feel like Elmer Fudd. Thank you very much. The opioid crisis has been covered extensively in the media and is currently in litigation in various states and federal courts. What are your concerns or plans for dealing with the opioid crisis in Dyer County? And we will start with Mayor Young.
Thank you very much. The opioid crisis is what has caused overpopulation in our jails. Drugs, or the desire for drugs, is what causes most burglaries, robberies, most any problem we have. I think the sheriff would tell you probably 90% of our inmates are in there due to drugs and alcohol abuse. So we are a part of an opioid settlement that we should be seeing some funds available in the near future. For that, it's been through federal and coming now to the state, I think, Senator, and will be passed on down. We joined in with the state of Tennessee and other counties across the state. Some counties did not do that. We chose to do that. And so our part of the settlement should be coming here before long. I hope to use that money to further our women's reentry program, to build a new station for them. We have a men's reentry program now that's been very successful. I got to give the sheriff credit for that. That's not my baby, that's his baby. But it's been very good to work with him to see some of those people with those opioid problems go out, succeed, get a job, support their families. So many of them, when they come in the program, don't have driver's license. They come out of that program, with a license, with money in the bank. They're able to support their children And it's been a wonderful thing to see some of those lives turn around. We're not 100%, we'll never be 100%, but success in that ratio is about 10%. If you got more than that, we're good, and I think we're way above that to the tune of about 70, 80%. So we're very proud of that program, and that's just one thing that I've been able to help with for this opioid crisis.
Thank you, Mayor. That same question to Mr. Henley.
Yes, we need more family, community, and faith-based programs. Well, the crime rate keeps getting worse, and I do support the war on drugs, but we need a new war on drugs, one that is not does not racially profile. And that's where we need to kind of work in the economy and have all these programs to let people who really ain't got no hope to have some hope. Because I would like to see taxpayers' money invested into the people, you know, who tries to get a job and do the right things. You really don't understand their situation until you walk a mile in their shoes. So that's why they say only God should be the judge when it comes to individuals. Yeah, it does take a toll on the economy, the drugs and stuff, and prison population and all that. Well, there is job programs for the nonviolent offenders, and a lot of times, if you show them some compassion, they usually don't make the same mistake twice. And when it comes to opioids, it's broken up a lot of families, unfortunately. And I would like to see a full opioid ban, because it's been scientifically proven that there are medications that are not opioids, it's just as potent, that can treat and even cure illness.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. Mr. Quick.
Well, it's interesting because I looked that up not long ago, as I do many stats. But we are the 6th highest prescribed opioid addicted county in the state of Tennessee, and we are the number 2 highest addiction rate. We do need programs. We need state money. It leads back to mental health. It leads back to faith-based groups. Transitions is wonderful. The sheriff's programs are wonderful, or law enforcement programs are, truly wonderful. But it leads back to mental health, some mental health too. You got Brother Neil. He is, of course, still, I don't know if he's preaching or not, but he donates his time. It's his calling for mental health. And he works down at, and I don't know if he makes much of anything off that. But it's a calling, and it's something for all of us to throw ourselves into, and never turn your back on someone that, that you may be able to help when, if you turn your back, you're not able to help, because they do need support. And like I said, mental health, and then programs like Transitions. And Transitions, I went to their 15-year, it was amazing, their anniversary, and it was amazing. And to see the things that they got going, and how they turn their people loose and try to get them adapted to society again, and then they let them back in, but sooner or later they can finally turn them loose, and they're productive, like Chris said a while ago. And I think that's about a 70%, rate, like you said, for Transitions and other groups. So those are positive programs, but we need more help. And again, mental health programs would be good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Quick. Let's go back to the economy. Another question on the economy, and we'll start with Mr. Quick. Mr. Quick, what role do you believe the county has in rural economic development?
Well, first of all, right now, I would like to thank all the contractors, because I think we got a 2.2% growth rate in our economy right now, because people are braver than I am They work every day. They build houses. My good friend Jason Harper, and they're out there building homes and selling homes and and working on our growth rate when it's just way too expensive for me to do right now. I had a building ordered for $160,000. After COVID, it turned into $420,000. I had to wait on that package for approximately 1 month prior to COVID and paid 10% down on that package. After COVID, that was $460,000 at 60% down for a building package that would come in 12 months. I don't even know if those companies are going to be in business after 12 months. In 1982, they filed bankruptcy and we couldn't find them or our money. So I commend those, and I think that, our contractors and, other small businesses, cleaning our county up again. It goes back to cleaning our county up and reducing crime rate and attracting business and industry. And support. We all have to support one another. Am I supposed to stop? I'm sorry.
When he holds the sign up for stop, and I'll start interrupting, okay? Thank you, Mr. Quick. That same question to Mayor Young.
The county's part of that is to be a partner with the cities and the Chamber of Commerce. So just as we mentioned the Commons earlier, in any industry that comes into Dyersburg, County, we all work together. And that partnership has been what has made Dyer County successful. And I think we're the envy of Northwest Tennessee in a lot of cases, and even over into Missouri and Arkansas. We really play at a little higher level than we are. And I got to give a lot of credit to City of Dyersburg, Newbern Trimble, and the Chamber of Commerce for helping us do that. So it's that partnership that the county can play to make those things happen, giving tax breaks to bring people in. That's the game. The name of the game today is, when an industry wants to locate here, is, what are you going to do for me? How much tax breaks are you going to give us? A lot of people don't believe you should do any of that. I believe you got to weigh it out by the number of jobs that they're bringing, the amount of investment that they're bringing to Dyer County, and all of those things play a part in how much we as a county are willing to do. So working with these other cities, we usually come up with a plan that we feel like we can do, and we've been very successful at that so far, and I'm very proud of the companies that we brought in, the number of employees that we brought in, which translates into new homes, rooftops, they call it, don't they, Senator Jackson? We need more rooftops. You hear that all the time. And so I've been very pleased to be a part of that. I think we've been very successful. We'll continue doing what we have done to promote Dyer County and Dyersburg to be a better place.
Thank you, Mayor Young. Mr. Henley.
Yes, like I said earlier, I thank all the county commissioners for the industry that we do have. And there's always a room for improvement. And I'm all in when it comes to enhancing job creation and economic development. It started out as a sluggish economy. There's kind of like a job boom, but there's still not room for everybody, and it needs to be made where nobody's left behind, so they'll be able to support their family to the fullest and have access to reach the American dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. Our last question is on education, and it will start with Mr. Henley. What is your position on school vouchers and why? And let me follow up with that. What impact do you believe these vouchers will have on our public school systems if people choose to leave the public school system by using vouchers? Mr. Henley?
Well, you got to look at the pros and the cons when it comes to vouchers. And the best thing to do is try to eliminate the cons, where it'd be something positive for everybody who wants to expand their education. Here a while back, they tried a certain voucher program, but it was like available just in Shelby and Davidson counties. And it was pretty successful. Public education is very important. But any kind of education that anybody is interested are to be available, and we are to be able to provide the resources, because knowledge is power, and the best way to get that is through education, and that just makes the community more productive. I could make it where we could have not only public but private and limited charter schools could have access without defunding anything from public education, that it works like a well-fueled machine, and it would decrease the dropout rate probably by 95% across the state of Tennessee. And that's a very important subject, and that's also why I'm running for Dyer County Mayor, because politics and to try to get things done for the people, being a citizen myself, starts locally. And like I said, anybody that wants to expand their education, I would like to actually expand my education. I only have a high school diploma. It doesn't mean I don't know about all the professional stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. Same question to Mr. Quick.
Well, this is America. I think if you need a voucher or want a voucher to, send your kids to school, then that's fine. But I'm all about the public school systems. I think we've got to make our public school systems better, safer, much safer. And if we think we're exempt to what's going on around us, we're not. We're not. I'd like to see more protection in our schools. I'd like to see, trained personnel that may have protection on them, and you might not even know it, but I believe that safety, and of course we have wonderful school systems here, public school systems. I was fortunate enough to tour them earlier this year. It was with Miss Cheryl and them allowed our class to, I don't know if she's in here, but I appreciate her from that. There she is over there. How wonderful it was and how amazing it was. What's the name of that program that we love the most? What was the name of that, Miss Cheryl? STEM. STEM is just amazing and wonderful and so colorful. Those kids were amazing. We listened to over 30 illustrations. They were almost just unperfect enough to be perfect. They were a lot better than I am, right here today. They were amazing. And that's what we need, but they have to feel safe and secure and have the things that they need and have now. And then I feel like people in the, the voucher school systems would want to move back to the public school systems, and that's where it's at. Everybody being together, and that's the way I feel about that, But it is America. If you choose to send your kids to a private school or wherever, then.
Thank you, Mr. Quick. Mayor Young.
Well, thank you very much. Our county has a budget of $71.5 million. $36 million is the school system, about $2.5 million is cafeteria, and about $2.5 million is transportation. So when you start seeing a lot of vouchers go out the door, those numbers are going to go up. There's no other way to fund public education. So we are very blessed in Dyer County to have two of the premier school systems in the state of Tennessee. I put them up against anybody, anywhere. We have, in my opinion, anything equal to any private school in Tennessee. I have a daughter who lives in Memphis. They choose to send their children to a private school that they're willing to pay for. And I think that people, if they want to send their kid to a private school, should be able to do that. Public education, when you start giving vouchers out, we're going to have to raise taxes to pay for that. So if you're willing to do that, then continue to push for that. I'm against it because I see what could happen to our public education system. We need to keep funding them as we are, continue to make progress with them by bringing in the retail that we brought in. For example, the last year they've gotten in education $1.3 million in additional funds to provide education for our children. So it's very important that we keep funding that education. And if you allow vouchers in Dyer County and small counties across the state, we're going to have a tax increase to fund education.
Thank you, Mayor. Those are all the questions that I had prepared. And so I know as an educator, your mind can only hold as long as your buttocks can endure. So for the next, I'm going to give each one of our candidates 2 minutes for closing statements. And we will start down the line with Mr. Quick.
Well, thank you. If elected, just remember that I will have an open door policy. It will be honesty. If you need to know how our county money is spent, just come in and ask me. If you need anything at all, you just, feel free and know that I'll always be there for the county. This is the betterment of the county for me is a passion. It's not, it's not something that I take on for the money. With that being said, also, I believe Dyer County is just as good a place as any place in the world. Yet we have our problems. Our crime's high. The trash is just horrible. Our property ordinances, are often neglected. We have our problems we have to work on, and which that makes we're going to have to clean our county up, impose property ordinances, and work toward a better community and work together, for the betterment of our community. And those are some problems. We got so many others. We need our county employees are just, really they're underpaid. Our sheriff's department is one of 5, in the state of Tennessee that don't have an adequate retirement plan. If there's a way that I can find misdirected money, that's where I would place that money. Or if we can keep up the 2.2% growth rate that we've got and the additional taxes, that's where I'd like that money to go first. County employees and hopefully retirement programs for the sheriff's department and other things. And, just to know that, and today here I am asking for y'all's vote and support for the betterment of Dyer County.
Thank you, Mr. Quick. Mr. Henley.
Yes, democracy is based on choices, so the more the better. Of course, I don't want, taxation is actually theft, and there is a way you could balance all that. And somebody says we can't do something, nobody don't need to have that attitude, because I believe we can get it right for everyone, because that's a leadership quality to have. And I would appreciate your vote. And I'm not doing it for the money or personal gain. If I got elected, or when I get elected, I want you to hold me accountable. I consider you my family, and I will not let you down. Matter of fact, I wouldn't accept the budget salary, but I have a family I have to support like the rest of you. But I would be willing to invest that capital into nonprofit programs that help everybody. who is law-abiding citizens and trying to do right. And I think when it comes to true leadership, I'm the best man for the job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. Mayor Young.
Thank you for the question. When I took office in 2014, our county was $44 million in debt. I was on the board prior to that, served 6 years as county commissioner, and was part of that, bringing on that debt. And I would have done exactly the same thing as the former commission did in building those schools. We have a great program, but today we have reduced that debt by $21 million. Our average cost of funds today is at 1.094%, which I think is unheard of across the country. We've been able to leverage each and every bond that we've had, refinance those, and it's really worked out well for the county. We also had, when I came into office, a $6 million balloon debt that would have caused a huge tax increase had we not dealt with that. So in 2016, we refinanced that bond, lowered the rate, was able to continue with the debt service budget that we currently had without raising that budget. Sales tax does pay for part of that debt service, so increasing our retail sales and our taxes that we collect have much improved our debt ratio for our bonds and our debt service fund. So this is a serious business. It's a serious time in our history to move things forward in Dyer County and to continue the programs that we've started, and I think we're on the right path. We've made so much progress. We still got ways to go, but with your support, I think we can get there. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank all three candidates. Let's give them a round of applause, please. I will now turn it over to the chair, Ms. Leanne.
Thank you. The most important thing is just make sure you vote. We've learned about our candidates tonight, and I hope you learned something that you didn't know. But just make sure you vote. Our election here in Dyer County is on Thursday, August the 4th, with early voting starting on Friday, July the 15th. So you can't complain if you don't throw your vote out there. So thank you all for your time, and I appreciate you coming. We're dismissed.